Hello, everybody. I'm your host, Eric Bird, here at StopStrugglingNow.com. And again, the Dominican Republic December 2024 tourist records. That also means a year in tourist records. We're talking about air. We're talking about cruise. We're talking about the overall numbers. Can we get there, ladies and gentlemen? Remember, this year in 2024, 8.5 to 9 million by air. We kind of don't care about tourists, but let's just say we want around 2 million and a little over. Now, next year in 2025, when I'm doing the January 2026 tourist records, I hope. Hopefully we reach 9.5 to 10 million. It's a daunting task, but stay tuned, ladies and gentlemen, to see the numbers. If you're a business person, if you're an investor, if you are a real estate investor, you should be paying attention to the trends. And welcome. Stop Struggling Now gear. Check. And please like, subscribe, and click the bell below so you get the latest updates. Now, let's get to it. All right, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, and once again, thank you so much for being here. And please share the videos, because you never know who's needing this information. You never know. That's why you have to help other people. Now let's get into it, shall we? We're going to go to the Stop Struggling Now YouTube channel page. Why? It's because I need everybody to come and subscribe, like I mentioned at the top, and share the videos. We talk about several different things. But once again, under the community tab, there are special posts that you should check out daily. That helps you out, a little motivation sometimes, a little business quotes, financial information. So go check that out and make sure you subscribe and click the all notification bell. Let's get into it, shall we? 2024, a record-breaking year for Dominican tourism. You gotta love it, ladies and gentlemen. It's going according to plan. Now, the total, as you can see on the screen, is 11,192,047 tourists, including air and cruises. Of course, we break it down. They break it down for us. I want you to see here the Dominican Republic experienced a record-breaking year, welcoming 11,192,042 visitors. A little upgrade, including, this is what the investors on the ground, if you're going to start a business, if you're going to do something in real estate, you need to know how many tourists are coming in if you're going to be in the tourism business. 8,535,742 on the low end of our 8.5 to 9 million number. I have to say the prediction is correct, but I don't like being on the lower end. Now, remember, next year is 9 million. That means there has to be an improvement of 1 million to reach that goal. Now, tourists arriving by air. Now, here's the cruise passengers, 2.656. 2,656,305 cruise passengers. The reason we don't talk about cruise that often is if you're going to do business near a cruise port, then you need to pay attention to the cruise numbers. Remember, most cruise passengers are only on land anywhere from 4 to 6 to 7 hours. Then they return back to the cruise ship. So that's why that's a limited amount of people that's going to spend money on the island. Now, let's get into comparison shopping. All right, air arrivals. We don't care about 2019. We don't care about 2022. We care about what happened in 2023. And there was only a 6% increase in air arrivals. That is not going to cut it going forward. Why I'm saying this? We need 9.5. Next year, if you're in the real estate game, if you're in the business game, you need 9.5. In order to reach 9.5, that's another million. There has to be something like 12%. Double this number. Can the DR double this number? What's going to make that happen? Cruise passenger numbers already surged, marking, again, 18% from 2023. That's going to continue because more cruise ships are going to the 8 cruise ports. Let's call it what it is. Now, the most important parts. This is where you need to pay attention. The consumer nations, United States and Canada in the Northern Hemisphere. Now, the United States contributed largest share of tourists at 46%. Canada followed with 19%. That only means, what is that? That's 60, no, that's not even, yes, it's 65% of all tourists are from USA and Canada. If USA and Canada has any type of economic downturns, that potentially would mean less tourists from United States and Canada. That will be a problem because you can see here, Colombia is next with 5%. That's it. Then Argentina, a small country of around 45 million people, is at 4%. Puerto Rico is even at 3%. That is crazy. But here's the other number. This is why I told you guys 5.5 years ago, I started talking about Punta Cana. Airport received the majority of arrivals. You guys know which one it is. Punta Cana, 59%. That's 60%. That's why. Followed by Las Americas, which is Santo Domingo, 24%, which is a very nice, hefty thing. But notice, this is on the eastern part of the island. On the eastern part of the island, that's 73%. Cibao is in the middle. Then you throw in La Romana at 1%. So you're at 74% of all tourists are on the eastern part. In other words, landing at Las Americas or Punta Cana generally. That is significant. So 59% of all arrivals, 60% I'll round up. You start dividing that or doing 60% times 8.5. And we get a very interesting number. And by the way, the December tourist numbers, 2023, 884,171, which is not mentioned here. That is a great number. I'm going to talk about that here shortly because we're going to go here to the tourism analytics because we have a lot to talk about. So you can add 884,171 to this total because this went from January 2024 to November 2024 to break the all-time record high for the DR with tourism. All right, so just want to get you guys to understand. When they're talking about an increase of 6%, again, that is not significant. What's going to happen is double this. It has to trend towards 12%. Where and how are they going to do this? I don't know. Also, here's what I want you to pay attention to. Here's the 2024 totals. 3 million of the 8.5 million comes from United States. 1 million of the 8.5 million comes from Canada. Then it drops off significantly. 300,000 from Colombia, 242,000 people from Argentina. That's significant drop off. So if anything happens to the first two, you can easily see how this is going to go. This is not good. And non-resident Dominicans was 1.2 million in this. All right. So just keep that in mind. But again, we got our, this is through November that I'm looking at tourism analytics. I'll have a link down below to both of these articles in the description boxes, no matter where you are watching this video from. Now, the other thing that you want to pay attention to are these numbers here again. Non-resident stopovers, Santo Domingo, Puerto Plata, Punta Cana. Notice the big boys. Eastern part of the island, Cibao is number 3. So again, you have to be in investment opportunity zones. You can go up to Jarabacoa. That's fine. But just keep in mind, you'll have less than 1 million people, which means you divide that by 12. Less than 100,000 people per month is available to you. And out of that 100,000, that's just one individual. Maybe 2 or 3 of these people are together. So now you're really reducing it into 50 30,000 people coming per month that's looking for a place to stay. So why would they stay in your place if you're doing rentals, right? So look at this. Cruise, we know that's always, but I want to show something else because there's a lot of people out here telling people falsehoods about average hotel room occupancy in the Dominican Republic. As of year to date, January 2024 till November 2024, we are now in January of 2025. We don't have the December numbers added to this. I'll add next month. I'll go through this and it should be added. But look at this, 76.1%. That's it. It's not 90 something. It's not 80 something. It's in the 70 something percentile range. The reason I bring this up is simple. I like to get you guys to understand and think outside of the box sometimes, because if you are an investor, you have to consider these things. You have to go, okay, let me see. Hotels are doing 76%. The best marketing program on the planet generally for the big boys. And if they're doing 76%, how am I going to say, oh, I'm going to do better than them? That's why I caution you. You need to know the numbers. I don't think you're going to do 80, 90% on an Airbnb platform when hotels who are worldwide have their own systems, have their own customers built in from their branding, that they can only get on average 76%. Sure, some people are going to have 90%. Some people are going to have 50. That's how you get the average. But I caution you that means there are a lot of room nights available, especially when they get up into the hundreds of thousands of units available. You start clicking away at another 5 to 10%. That means significant numbers. That's not going to be staying in a condo, hotel, or condo, or villa, or townhome. Airbnb, Airbtix, free account. You can just see some things happened. Instead of 41% like it was last year, it looks like in 2024, occupancy rates went up in La Altagracia to 48% overall. That just means some people, like in the Los Corrales, El Cordacito area, are at or over 70 some percent. And to offset that, some people are at 10 to 15 to 20% in order to get around 48%. So that's what I want to caution you about as well. So you have the numbers, ladies and gentlemen. Let me know what you guys think down below. Leave a comment, please. And please like, subscribe, and click the bell below so you get the latest updates. And I know it's hard out here, and that's why you have to be diligent. Every month you have to start looking. If your project is going to be delivered in the next 12 months to 16 months, you have to start paying attention to Airbnb and VRBO and understand what you're going to be able to charge in your area potentially. You have to look at the real deal. A lot of people do not understand that sometimes because you don't have enough tourists at this moment, that you will not be able to buy something for $175,000 and rent for our 0.1%. That's the recommended number. So that way you will understand there's a runway that could possibly go up. That's why we need to pay attention to these tourist numbers. Because if they plateau, then that means whatever the numbers are now is the numbers. And that would also mean if you add on 10,000 hotel units, if you add on 5,000 to 10,000 new short-term rentals or long-term rental places to stay, then that means we're going to be at these same numbers. And does your place match up with a 40% occupancy rate where you still make money? Or 45% or 50%? What's that number that makes you happy? That's what you need to understand. If you have any questions, you know where to reach me. support@stopstrugglingnow.com. And with all that said, keep your head up, keep moving, and I'm out.